Now, from the studios of Into Tomorrow in Miami, this is ITTV.
Our next guest is from a relationship wellness tech company that empowers love connection through a fun digital experience. This past Valentine's Day, they just launched a very cool app that you want to know about and perhaps participate with as well. The founder and CEO of Our.Love is Tal Zlotnitsky. Tal, welcome into Tomorrow. How you doing, sir?
I'm wonderful. Thanks for having me on, Dave.
It's a pleasure. Your Valentine's Day was very good because a lot of people downloading your new app. Tell me first a little bit about the company, Our.Love, and then we'll get into the app specifically.
Sure. So our mission and our vision is to help couples experience more and better love. We think that technology has focused too much of its attention on helping people find love and has done well there. But in terms of helping people love the one they're with, which so many of us want to do more and better, technology has been lagging. We think over the course of the last several years, there have been some substantial improvements in emotion AI, biometrics, machine learning, and other tools and means to leverage technology effectively to help people love more and better. And so we're extremely excited to be launching this app right now.
I love that. So, of course, as you mentioned, a lot of folks maybe use Match.com or Tinder or whatever apps that might help them find love, hopefully, if that's what they're looking for. But it is a great idea and very novel, I think, to improve the love you already have. So how is it that you can improve upon that? Other than just, like, hey, every day make sure you say I love you, or, don't ever go to bed angry, or, those kinds of things. What specifically do you guys do?
So our app is designed to bridge between where humans live their lives every day and what we need to be more effective, both in terms of being present and loving and kind and generous and supportive of our significant other, and being able to track how we're doing in our love. So the origin story of Our Love is actually my own failure at love. I was not successful after a 20-year marriage that ended last year. I started really looking into the topic of love. I was mainly thinking that I would learn some novel things, but what I discovered was that the science of relational well-being and love is actually extremely clear and has been for a very, very long time. Dr. John Gottman, who's the godfather of relationship science, and Dr. Sue Johnson, the godmother, have more or less had relationship science down to a science, if you will. The challenge many of us have is accessing that knowledge and that information in our everyday lives. And I think the reason it's a challenge is because it's being delivered to us. That knowledge, that understanding is being delivered to us much the same way that it was 30 or 40 years ago, which is mainly in books or magazine articles. And I'm not knocking books or magazine articles. I'm a huge reader. You can see behind me how many books I have.
Yes.
But the fact is that it is very challenging to be able to both get the information you need and get the support you need and access that information in real time when you need it most. So the idea of our app was, let's help people first determine where they are in their relationships. So we have a relationship tracker that within a couple of minutes of downloading our app will help you and your partner understand where you are in your relationship across 7 key love skills. And then we will guide you on a journey to help you improve your relationship. Now, I want to be clear, journeys can be boring and ours is not. So one of the things we took very, very seriously is the need to make this fun. There's a reason therapy, which I think is very important, and some couples avail themselves to it, is not terribly popular with couples. Only 1 in 5 couples will seek therapy for marital strife, and they tend to wait a long time, on average 6 years. We are not trying to come in and help people who are in dire straits. Of course, if you are in dire straits, we'll be happy to try to give you a hand. However, our main audience, the audience that we are looking to cater to, is an audience that is in relationships that are more or less okay, but could be better. There's an opportunity to love more. There's an opportunity to love better. There's an opportunity to understand each other more and better, and a desire to understand each other more and better. Our survey that we did with SurveyMonkey about a year ago showed that about 6 in 10 Americans put that as their number one priority, loving their significant other more and better and being loved more and better by their significant other. They just lack the support systems to do it. And that's our goal. That's our mission, to deliver that for them.
I think, Tal, anything you can do to help strengthen what is already, hopefully, love for one another is a great idea. And you talk about the basic 7 love skills. What are some of those skills? And give us a couple of pointers as to the sort of thing that your app does for us.
Absolutely. So the skills range from things such as curiosity, appreciation, accountability, vulnerability, physical touch, support, and ultimately, of course, quality time. Ultimately, what these things are about is understanding what works for you and your partner specifically. So we start from a baseline of, we know what generally works. We give our couples the opportunity to engage with some content through videos and audio and some reading and some games and a super exciting emotion AI tool that allows you and your partner to have a conversation. And as you have that conversation, there's an actual bouquet of flowers that blooms or wilts on the basis of how well you're doing applying what you've learned.
Wow.
And the idea is that all of us are capable of doing better at love. We do need more information. We need to understand what works for our partner. We need to understand what works for ourselves. But perhaps even more importantly than that, we need a way to be able to communicate how we're doing and what we're doing without feeling exposed, vulnerable, or psychologically unsafe. In a lot of relationships, people come into it having suffered some trauma. 1 in 2 Americans has suffered childhood trauma. The number is even greater in communities of color. And so when you're coming into a relationship carrying that baggage of childhood trauma, one of the most common ways that manifests is that you're not comfortable advocating for yourself, or you're not comfortable expressing yourself and being as vulnerable as perhaps you would if you did not experience trauma. The reason childhood trauma is so difficult is because when you experience trauma as a child, you feel helpless. You feel disempowered. You oftentimes are at the mercy of others. And unfortunately, the child remains in all of us. We may grow up, we may age, but that child, that vulnerable, scared, exposed child, we carry that child with us. And if we're doing that into a relationship where we have not established that we can be vulnerable, that we are going to be psychologically safe, that there is respect, that there is curiosity, oftentimes that inner child draws us back into a place of being afraid. And that fear manifests in multiple ways, none of which are particularly good. One way it manifests is in anger. Another way it manifests is in shame. Another way it manifests is in shutting down. All of these things are completely understandable. And one of our goals is to help people understand their challenges, understand their partner's challenges, approach it from a place of curiosity and respect. I want to know what my partner is feeling. I want to know why they're feeling that. I don't want to judge them for it. I don't want to shame them for it. I want to be there for them. And the fact is that as soon as you start that snowball of good behavior, followed by kindness, followed by generosity, followed by respect, followed by appreciation, and more quality time, it's unreal the amount of love that you can unleash. It's there to be had in almost every situation. Of course, if you wait too long, and that's one of the reasons that our app is designed to try to help people who are not in dire straits. If you wait too long, it does in fact become very, very difficult to come back from that. And that's the challenge. There are a lot of marriages and relationships. We don't have to talk exclusively of marriages, but there are a lot of relationships that I would classify as zombie relationships. The couple may still be together physically. They may be living under the same roof, but they have long ago checked out. The opportunity to come back together is very tough once you've really checked out for a long period of time. So if you're a couple that's been together several years and you still care about each other and you know the love is there, our app can help you establish the kind of processes and routines that will give you the opportunity to feel more and better love every day in your lives.
Well, Tal, I can tell you're very passionate about what you're doing, and I think that's terrific. And it's a whole lot more, it sounds to me, than just not taking each other for granted or not just showing respect for each other. But there's so many more elements. I mean, you talk about those, 7 key love factors. I mean, that does make sense. And I hear my audience in my head all the time saying, well, don't forget to ask all these other questions. Like, I'm glad you answered already another question I had, not just for marriages then, but for any kind of relationship. I'm assuming this would work either for same-sex relationships as well, for
Absolutely.
any race, for any religion, for, any differences that folks may or may not have, that it continues, if there's love there, it can strengthen it, yes?
Absolutely, Dave. One of the reasons I chose to do this, and my background is I'm a software CEO. I've been a startup CEO 5 times previously, and I've built successful large companies.
And see, I thought you were a marriage counselor from your passion.
Well, not in the least. I'm very passionate about it, and I've learned a lot about it. I'm also extraordinarily blessed to have a team of amazing relationship scientists and general wellness scientists around me.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Richard Safir, the Chief Medical Director of Employee Health and Wellbeing at Johns Hopkins University, is the head of our science team. And we've assembled an incredible team that includes very famous relational scientists like Drs. Jim Cohn and Leanne Campbell to be parts of the team. So I feel like I've learned a lot. But what I really am is someone that understands how to leverage technology to support other things. So really, ultimately, technology in and of itself is not the solution, but the combination of technology on top of sound relationship science principles and on top of gamification and fun, which is what we put together, is really impactful.
Well, part of that passion I can tell because you're banging your table so your laptop camera is moving. But that's a good sign. I mean, it shows that you care about what it is that you're doing. Now, of course, I've got to add.
Why? I mean, Dave, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I wanted to share why I became so passionate about starting this company, why I chose to walk away from a very large established company that I was running. I am deeply concerned about the division that is tearing us apart at this country, and quite frankly, not just in this country. It's a global phenomenon of people finding ways to separate and divide from each other. And ultimately, the one place that I think, regardless of your race, your sexual orientation, your political positions in life, that we do all ultimately come back to and share a common desire is to love more and better and be loved more and better. It is something that is really, really universal. So the opportunity to do something that crosses boundaries and lines was very exciting to me. And the opportunity to leverage love, which I think is one of the greatest sources of energy on earth, if not the greatest, and a source of energy that has no carbon footprint or any other footprint, a source of energy where, Dave, if you had more love, it does not mean I have to have less. We can all have as much love as we want. And the beauty is, if you start in the home, if you teach people how to respect their significant other and love them more and better, the ripple effect of that is tremendous. I mean, you're talking about being able to obviously impact children, if there are any children in the home, extended family, neighbors, colleagues, coworkers, and a community at large. And that's my mission. I think that if we do this well, what we will ultimately be able to do is not just impact relationships and make people love their partner more and better, but help them be more understanding of other people, even outside of their relationship.
Well, I love your constant underlying theme is so appropriate of love more and better, because if that doesn't get the point across, I don't think anything else we talk about is getting the point across. It's all working. Is there a cost for this app?
So it depends. There is a free version of the app that going to the App Store, either the Android store or the iOS store, you can download the app, Our.Love. There is a free version of the app that's available to everyone. The amount of information and benefits you can get grows as you subscribe. And obviously, ultimately, our goal and our hope is that we add enough value to our members, who we're going to call friends. So our friends, our goal is that we add enough value that the very small amount that we are going to be charging, and that's to be determined. One direction we are leaning towards, because we want to make sure that love is available to anyone, regardless of financial means, is to allow our subscribers to pick their own price. So decide what they're willing to spend. But our goal is to make this very affordable. Out of the gate, we're talking about $1 or $2 or $3 per month, amounts that any one of us should be able to afford, certainly for the benefits of being able to be aware in real time of our partner's mood, be able to respond to them just in time based on their mood with great guidance from the app, be able to track where we stand in the relationship, be able to see the impact of the things we're doing on our love, because you'll actually literally see your tracker take into consideration the efforts that you and your partner are making and continuously evolve your data set to show where you are, games that you can play in the app, etc. It's a lot of fun for a very small price to pay.
Well, I love it. It's the best way to put it. And of course, our best love at your fingertips. I like that too on your website. We invite our audience to visit. Yes, there is a domain that is .love. Go figure. So visit our.love for more information. More importantly, just visit your favorite app store. And while you're snagging the Into Tomorrow app for free, snag Tal's app as well that is called Our.Love for free, and see the kinds of things that you can do right off the bat, right out of the box, as they say, and then even more and more as you continue. So, Tal, keep up that passion, because it shows and it's very evident that you love what you're doing, and I think it's terrific that you're helping so many people already.
I appreciate it so much, and I'm so proud of the team around me. It's an incredible, diverse team of people that are just as passionate as I am about it, and I'm really grateful for the opportunity to talk to you, Dave.
It's our pleasure. Tal Zlotnitsky is the founder and CEO of Our.Love, O-U-R.Love. And of course, if you have yet to see the video of the interview with Tal and I, be sure to visit us at intotomorrow.com and check out the video. We're showing you some of the cool things that his app does and can do. So you do want to check it out. Meantime, let's continue to love each other all the way into tomorrow. I'm Dave Graveline. Stay tuned. There's much more to come right here on the Advanced Media Network.